Hi, darlings. Thank you so much for joining me on the Creative Retreat channel today. Today, I have a pocket Bible process for you, and I am working through the Lamplight Faith, which is the August Faith Art Box. And this devotional is by Aaron Davis. I have an unboxing over on my channel that I will link below and put up here in the eye for you. And I am going to be focusing today on John chapter 8, verse 12, where Jesus declares that he is the light of the world. And I'm excited to get into this portion of scripture. I have already started digging through and I've already done a couple of pages. And I just want to get started. So I am going to try and use just the Faithful Digitals and then maybe some things you have in your stash. I want to continue to do these type of videos to inspire those of you that have only picked up the Faithful Digital. So what I've done is I have cut out some of the pieces I knew I wanted to use for this journaling entry. There's only a couple because, as you know, this is a pocket Bible, so there's only so much space. And then also I have pulled out an old stencil. This is the tie-dye stencil, and I forget what kit this was, but if she still has this, I will link it below. And I thought this would be fun to do like a light burst. I don't have a light burst stencil, but I thought this would work perfectly. And then I have the Yield Creative Retreat ink. You can use any ink in your stash, any stencil in your stash, or maybe you just want to use markers and create your own shine or light burst in the back of your page. You can do that however you want, but the actual things that I'm going to use are from the Faithful Digitals for the main elements of this kit. I also have the swatch colors, which is, I think this is the third or fourth page in the Faithful Digitals, because I'm going to use this middle portion right here to create a tab. So I'm going to put you on fast forward and let's begin. Okay, darlings, so the first thing I'm going to do is grab my stencil, and I want to protect my page. So I'm going to grab the back of one of the cardstock stickers, and I'm going to place it behind my page. I quickly realized, though, that I am not in the right verse. Has this ever happened to you? You turn to the page that you want to journal, and then it kind of loses its way, or maybe the page flips over. That has happened to me a couple of times. Leave me below comment and let me know if that has happened to you. But I thankfully caught it, and so now I'm going to clip my second page, and so now I'm going to start working. So I lay down this stencil. It is a tie-dye type of burst stencil, and it is a Creative Retreat stencil, so you can pull this out if you have it in your stash. I was inspired by Charla, who used a ray stencil. It was like a light ray stencil, and I don't have that stencil. So I was like, what Creative Retreat stencil can I look for in my stash to see if I can use something similar? And I decided to go with this. So here, I saw that the stencil only covered a portion of my page. And so what I did was I kept turning the stencil to use the tail and to lengthen the burst that would be on the page. I hope that makes sense. So now it's much bigger on the page. And so I just kept turning my stencil and lengthening that sunburst or light burst. So there you go. So now that I have that in my background, I think that for me, it was a very simple background, but I didn't want anything too busy because I knew I wanted to layer many words on top of there from the Faithful Digital. So now I'm going to grab a piece of the pattern paper from this Digitals. I'm going to lay it on some cardstock. I'm just using the thank you card that came with the kit. You can use any. And then I'm going to punch out a tab. There is a tab in the Faithful Digitals that you guys can use. I've already used that tab. That's why I am punching out my own tab. But the Faithful Digital did come with a tab. It was actually a light blue color one. So now I'm going to lay out all of my pieces. So as I was going through the Digitals, I was looking at all the words, and I wanted to put together a title that really spoke to me about what the devotional and the study that I did, aside from the devotional, what it spoke to my heart. And the big thing was that Jesus was the light, not just the light of the world, but he also was the light that took away the darkness of this world. So when his light shines in us, we can remove the darkness that is in this world. This world is full of darkness. We can see it on a daily basis. And so that is the message I wanted to bring out. So you see me lay out, I am using the word Jesus is the light in a world of darkness. And all of these come from the Faithful Digitals, including the lampstand that you see on the bottom left-hand side. And also on the top right, I'm going to use a lantern. And there are two lanterns in the Faithful Digitals, a dark blue one and an orange one. I cut out both just in case, but I end up going with the dark blue one because it was a very similar color to the Jesus that was going to be right next to it. And I wanted the colors to flow a bit better. So as you see me gluing down all of these pieces, I want to read to you the portion of scripture that I'm focusing on. In John chapter 8, verse 12, Jesus says, "Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Jesus was telling everyone around him, I am the light of the world. I am your solution to the darkness in this world. And I believe that sometimes we find ourselves drowning in all of the bad news and all of the sin and corruption that is around us. And the way that we see this world is embracing this darkness. And at times we may feel that we ourselves are in darkness because of everything that's surrounding us or the circumstances that we're going through. But Jesus says, I am the light of the world. He is the light, not just of the world, but he is the light of your home. He is the light in your soul, in your heart. He is the light that we need in order to fight off the darkness that this world is trying to bring into us. And so I love a little bit of the actual devotional content or commentary content in my Bible. It reads in the Fire Bible that Jesus is the true and complete revelation of God's light. He removes spiritual darkness and deception by shining his light upon the right path to God and by revealing the opportunity for spiritual salvation through faith in Jesus. Here on the screen, you see me after I lay everything down. I'm just creating some lines that I will later use for journaling. That
and
is it,
that
darlings.
wraps
Love how
up
it
the
turned
page.
out. It's just a super simple page, and I love that I was able to use that stencil that I had in my stash. Like I said, you can use any stencil you have in your stash or create your own starburst or light burst in the back of your page with anything that you have in your stash. Love how it turned out. I have some journaling lines to add a private prayer off camera, and I did add my date off camera as well. And that wraps up this page. If you are new here, I hope you consider subscribing to the Creative Retreat channel. Don't miss any of the other projects we'll be doing this month here on the Creative Retreat channel on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us each and every video, darlings. God bless. Bye.